The river crossing activity is a very versatile activity. In this lesson plan, we're using it to identify behaviors that negatively impact health and to help students brainstorm ways to move past or avoid those negative behaviors. So the setup for this, I use long utility rope to mark off riverbanks, I call them. And then typically for a group size of 15 people or more, you want a fairly wide river that would make it more challenging. So the river symbolizes those negative aspects, those negative things that they're trying to avoid. So in this instance, when we're talking about the health continuum, ideas that the group brainstormed were around trans fats, tobacco, alcohol use, drug use, fast food, sugar, those kinds of ideas. And those were labeled on a piece of paper and put into the river so that they could see and remember what had been talked about. Then they were given place spots. So it can be chunks of carpet, it can be rubber mats, whatever is handy, whatever you can find to use. And those are their stepping stones. I give them a stepping stone for each positive behavior that counteracts negative behavior. So ask them, if you are a smoker and you want to do something different, what could you do? Exercise, or avoid fatty foods, eat healthy vegetables, ideas like that. And then I give them a play spot for each healthy idea. Then as a group, they need to work out how they're going to get across the river without losing the play spots. When the play spot goes on the river, that somebody has to be touching it, or it will float away, which means I'll come and take it as the facilitator. The other criteria I give them is that everybody must get across, and if they step into the river, then they have to go back to the bank and start again. Really, typically, they take a few minutes and brainstorm ideas and then get started, and it goes fairly well. And sooner or later, they start losing their place spots or their stepping stones. Something that I've seen that's really typical is that they get within sight of the other bank, or they get really close, and then people get excited and they start stepping off. And it's a really great point to bring up in the debrief around what happens when you're almost at your goal. Right? You're right there, and then people lose sight of kind of what it was that they were doing, and it makes for a great conversation piece.